Hey guys, I'm back with another video, and yes, whoo girl, oh my god, it's been a trying and challenging few weeks, but I'm back from the grave, and here I am, and of course we have some semi-annual sale action from Bath & Body Works. Today was the first day, and yes, let's see, I feel like we say this literally every single semi-annual sale, but I feel like this is one of the worst or not so hot semi-annual sales of recent times, or does it feel like do they just get worse every season, or is it just because we're like jaded and like have bought so much stuff, so the further along you are, the more dissatisfied you are? I don't know, but you guys know what I mean. But I think it's the Christmas and July bullshit that really like puts a damper on the semi-annual sale, because it's just like, it just takes up like a whole table of like body care and candles, and it's just like, who is asking for Christmas in June? I don't understand it. And they're the basic fragrances. Like, at least throw us a bone and give us like one new fragrance. Like, God, I hate to say introduce coconut in the Christmas time, but like if you were to introduce some kind of like new coconut Christmas blend, wouldn't like this be the time frame for it? Or like even vanilla snowflake, which had like coconut mint and some other thing, and it was a, you know, a snowflake fragrance, something. Just give something like new and like Christmas in the tropics type of new fragrance, rather than just the same basic top seller fragrances that we get all the time. It's just like, who is asking for that? And nobody was picking it up, and there was nobody around that table. But in any case, yes. So let's see. I went to just one store. Normally I make the rounds, but I'm like, girl, I just don't even, there's nothing I even really want. I'm just kind of here just out of obligation. So I was like, I'm just gonna do one store on the way home and just go home and call it a day. That's what I did. So yes, let us get into it. I guess I'll talk about the one new fragrance. I actually picked this up last weekend when it was $13.95. Was it last weekend? Whenever this was. It was $13.95 for Father's Day weekend or something like that, was it? So did that start on Thursday or Friday maybe? Okay, so maybe this past Thursday or Friday. It was $13.95, and I was like, it's probably gonna be like $10.99 for SAS, but I kind of just want to like dig into it, and I just want something new, right? So I was just like, let me just do the $13.95 and get the one new fragrance out of this questionable packaging collection, and that is Sugar Pretzel Twist right here. Yikes. I mean, have you guys seen the fresh cut lilacs in this collection? I don't know, maybe it's just like, they have a talented team of designers, I would have to imagine. They can probably attract many talented designers there. And they have like, you know, everything from production artists to regular graphic designers to art directors to creative directors. Like, there's a whole process of people there who have probably immense talent. But I don't know if this is one of those cases where like somebody from the top, like a gatekeeper or a key holder or whatever you want to call it, somebody who's stopping the designers from doing what they're supposed to do, is somewhere in the top line of command, telling them, hey, we want some like, you know, some modern geometric patterns, and maybe they have like other good designs, but the person who is in charge, the buyer or the market analyst or whatever the title is at Bath & Body Works, is probably like, oh yeah, I don't know. And then so the designer's like, you know what, I'm so over this project, like this is the last submission or whatever, you better like it. And then like maybe like this is what they just decided on. I just feel like there's some kind of, you know, that kind of thing going on, because it's just like, how else like would you get something like this, unless like some designer person up at the top was just like really set on some like grody ass look, and they just like, you know, basically told designers, you need to do this, and this is what happens from it. I don't know. But in any case, Sugar Pretzel Twist, buttery pretzel dough, sweet cinnamon sugar, and sea salt, $24.95. I burned this one like 4 times already, and here it is. And I was like, oh my god, another pretzel fragrance, which is kind of like interesting. I'm just like, who is asking for a pretzel fragrance? You know, like that seems like a very acquired gourmand bakery fragrance. But nonetheless, here it is. And yes, so it's very similar to the old, is this focusing? Okay, here we go. It's very similar to the old school spice it up cinnamon pretzel twist fragrance. It's pretty much what this smells like. I haven't had that in the longest time, so I can't say with confidence. It's not in my collection either. And I think it also got repackaged as Bonfire S'mores at one point as well. I don't know how or why, but it did. And it was cinnamon pretzel twist. And this, I've run this like 4 times now, and if it's not exactly the same, it's incredibly similar. It's the most closest to that. And so if you didn't smell Bonfire S'mores or Cinnamon Pretzel Twist or whatever other repackages it came under, it smells like a soft pretzel that you would get from like Auntie Annie's or whatever. And so it's like a soft pretzel, and you get like the gooey, melty butter on top of it. And then you definitely get a little bit of a salt sprinkle. And then lastly, just a hint of sweet cinnamon sugar is in there. But it's not, don't even think of like cinnamon sugar like fully, just completely covering the pretzel, but just like a sprinkle on top. Like the cinnamon is not as nearly as strong as like their cinnamon sugar donut or cinnamon spice vanilla or anything like that. But there is definitely a cinnamon sugar implication underneath it all that makes it a little bit more sweet, and so it's sweet and salty, but I feel like I get more so the dough, the butter, and the salt, and then the cinnamon afterwards. But I think Cinnamon Pretzel Twist Spiced It Up was pretty much what this was. In store, I thought it was a little bit closer to Salted Caramel Pretzel, but after having burned it, I don't think it is. And so we have Salted Caramel Pretzel here from that like limited edition drop or whatever. Focus. There we go. Okay, I think that's working. Okay. Freshly baked soft pretzel, brown butter, caramel, and sea salt, which is like, hello. Oh my God, that sounds so similar. But it's not. Yeah, this actually has just a different dough fragrance, and the salt is so incredibly distinct on this in a very like pretzel salt type of way. And then you don't, I guess by comparison, get a cinnamon sugar in this. So I guess there is definitely a difference. And then it's sweetened more so by like this creamy caramel rather than cinnamon sugar. So there's a difference, but it has a similar doughy bready feel that this one has. And so they're kind of similar in that way. But yeah. It is not this, but like they're both pretzel fragrances, and both of those seem to be soft baked pretzels. So those two are closer than, let's say, it being close to salted pretzel milkshake that we've had previously. I was just burning this one too. Creamy vanilla ice cream, salty pretzel bits, gooey chocolate drizzle, and here we go. And yeah, this one differs the most. Like those two are somewhat related, but this one is not. I mean, it's still a pretzel fragrance, but this, on the other hand, I get like hard, crunchy ass pretzels, like Snyder's, like the really hard ones, like they break your teeth and everything. It's a very crunchy, burnt pretzel is what I get, mixed with some type of like vanilla caramel creaminess, a hint of chocolate. Maybe the chocolate is giving what that sort of burnt component to this, but this is more like burnt, hard pretzels mixed with some type of sweet creaminess, but still quite burnt for like a milkshake fragrance. But yes, so it's not that. So I would say, even though I don't have one, going off of memory, it's the closest to Cinnamon Pretzel Twist. So that was that right there. It is not, in my opinion, Welcome Home, which has more of that sort of apple cinnamon, apple butter undertone to it, and it often has like this weird kerosene vibe. That was not giving me that weird kerosene vibe that Welcome Home often tends to give. So there was that collection, and everything else in that collection is repackaged, so we don't even talk about it. Okay, moving on. Let's see, I guess, even though I ragged on it, I still picked it up. I had to get to 10 off 40, the $40 thing. So I was like, you know what? As a collector, I just feel like I still need to just at least have one in my collection, just for the absurdity of it all, of how ridiculous this collection is. And it's the Christmas in July Fresh Balsam right here. And it's a front and back design, and this one says Elf on the Beach, okay, and it has sunglasses on an elf, and it actually has a white snowflake lid, so nice detail there. It seems like they put some effort or thought into this, which I appreciate. Woodland Balsam Crisp Eucalyptus Fir Branches and Cedarwood. It's like, why am I even reading this? Everybody knows what fresh balsam smells like. But of the ones that are out, I buy fresh balsam every year. And so like living in Florida, I felt like this kind of like made sense for me to have in my collection, because it's like, okay, like I could burn this like during December when it's potentially still very warm out, and it gets into that sort of Christmas in Florida vibe. So I was like, okay, there's like palm trees all around in my yard and everything, so I was like, it kind of makes sense. So that's why I got this one, and fresh balsam is the one that I pick up every year and buy. It has the very thin, those like thin wicks that we often see on fresh balsam. This one has it too. And so yeah, this was unfortunately not $10.99 by half price, so it's like $13.47 or whatever it is. So it stung a little bit, but I just had to get to $40. And so I got the fresh balsam right here. Christmas in July, I can't. But I was like, you know what, I just need one for the collection. So I can go into my collection and just be angered and pissed, because that's what I like to do in life, is I like to invoke negative reactions. Totally kidding, but yes. Okay. So there was that. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Oh, there's all the new body, or the bring back body cares. But unfortunately, most of them smell so incredibly watered down. The shower gels and the sprays, actually, I use the sprays and they literally like fade after like 30 minutes to an hour. And the shower gels just smell so plasticky and weak and just cheap. And I was like, oh my God, this blows. And then I recalled, I was like, wait, I bought Malibu Heat, or redeemed a reward on Malibu Heat shower gel last SAS or whatever, because I just needed to get something for the reward. And I remember using Malibu Heat and I was just like, oh, this just smells so cheap and watered down, as opposed to the original Malibu Heat that I had when it came out originally. And so me being an actual fan of Bath & Body Works since 2011 or whatever, I have actually used and encountered most of the bring back fragrances outside of maybe Chocolate Amber is probably the only one I haven't had experience with the original one. But like Into the Wild, my sister has, so I remember using that one. Bali Mango was actually my very first shower gel I ever got from Bath & Body Works, and I still remember that day so vividly. It was in college. I was in those janky like shared dorm showers with like the gross shower curtains. I would often like grow mold on them, and I would have to like put in a service request to the custodial staff to be like, hey, can you clean the shower curtain in the, you know, the public bathroom on this floor because there's mold growing on it. And I remember so vividly having that old school like round like curvy Bali Mango shower gel in the corner, and I would use it, and it was like the first time I've actually really used shower gel from Bath & Body Works, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, I love shower gel, and I got hooked into buying Bath & Body Works shower gel ever since that Bali Mango. But I had the original Bali Mango as well. Let's see, Forever Red Vanilla Rum, I was around when that existed as well. We also had, let's see, what else was in the lineup? Velvet Sugar, I had the original one. I actually just threw that one out very recently because I was just getting too old that I was just like, I don't need this anymore. But yes, in any case, the majority of the ones that were there, I had the original one and still like had most of the bottles in my collection that I would sniff regularly on cold. And there's just such a distinct difference. The SAS like repours or whatever, they must be using a lower concentration of oils in the shower gels, maybe to like for cost savings, because, you know, I guess you have to pay the TikTok partnerships to promote your bringbacks. So maybe they have to allocate budget to, you know, social media partnerships rather than quality products. And so it seems like the shower gels in the recent like few seasons of semi-annual sale, or even I guess the mist too, because they really only fade after, they really fade like after 30 minutes to an hour. It seems like it just seems, I obviously I can't prove it, but it just seems like they're using less oils in them, and they just smell like a fake, like watered down, cheap, lower concentration, like imitation version of what they used to be, and that totally blows. Because like I would totally buy Forever Red Vanilla Rum in the shower gel like this time around if I could, but it smells so cheap and just like not like half of what it's supposed to be that I was just like, I don't even want to waste $4.99 or whatever on this. So there was that. I think Chocolate Amber is the one that's like really back from back in the day. That one on cold or out of the bottle smells very similar to hot cocoa and cream, and I was just like, oh, what is this? Like we've had hot cocoa and cream, and I think it's because the top impression of the chocolate is so immensely strong that it's very reminiscent of the chocolate from hot cocoa and cream. But I did spray it. I can't smell it on my wrists anymore, but when I smelled it in the store, it does dry down to offer a little bit more of this sort of mature, ambery, honey, perfumey quality does linger after, that it does seem more like mature and perfumey than the hot cocoa and cream, like full-blown like gourmand body care that we got, but similar chocolate fragrances. And I feel like we don't get too many chocolate body care fragrances, so if you want to try it, check Chocolate Amber out. It seemed the strongest in the shower gel, but I do have to say I'm still kind of disappointed with the longevity on the spray. So yeah, okay, so that was the whole throwback body care. Like, interesting selection, but it's just too bad that the quality really seems like they're just not like, they're not full like A grade like regular product. that we get throughout the year, it seems like they are watered down for SAS. Okay. Okay, moving on. Let's see what else. We have a whole slew of new wallflowers coming out, and that is fun. I kind of appreciate that they do so many exclusive fragrances in the wallflowers. Well, I also don't appreciate it because that means I have to go and buy the wallflower, which I don't use as much, and I have so many wallflowers in my collection, I'll literally never get through them in my entire lifetime. So I'm just like, what am I doing buying another wallflower? I can't get through them fast enough because I only have one in my bathroom, and it just takes forever to get through. So it sucks because like you smell all these new fun exclusive fragrances, but like I can just never get through them. But in any case, there was, I don't even have the energy to go through all of the ones that I didn't buy, but there's a bunch of new ones. Check them out for yourself. But the one that I did buy is Parisian pink roses, and I was like, you guys know I'm all over anything that's pink and anything that's rose. And this one reads, Romantic Rose Garden Sweet Vanilla Macarons. Oh, I thought there were 3 notes on the, were there not 3 notes on the signage in the store? Okay, let's see. No, it just says Romantic Rose Garden and Sweet Vanilla. And this one says Romantic Rose Garden and Sweet Vanilla Macarons. Okay, so it does indicate like a bakery gourmand essence. And we're gonna open this up because I'm like pretty certain that this is actually a fragrance we've had before, and I just wanna dig into it and smell it again. And it's like, oh, this is where like you wish that the wick isn't like smushed inside the cap. It is not. It is a nice erect wick on there. Okay, cool. Oh my God, there it is. Wow. Oh, it's her. It totally is her. Okay, so this is actually none other than friggin' Rosewater Meringue. I was like, what? Oh my God, how crazy. For this to finally get like a release again in obscure wallflower during SAS in a deceptive repackaged name, but this is totally Rosewater Meringue. So if you recall, we had Rosewater Meringue in the test collection that I got in Atlanta, and I bought so many of these because it's like one of my favorite fragrances ever. It got re-released in spring packaging that was so cute. We also got it in body care that looked like this, and so it's kind of been sprinkled around in releases, and now we have it in Wallflower. And I believe I have a whole stash of Rosewater Meringue Wallflower, so I only just bought one of this, and I was like, I even really don't need this, but I kind of just want to talk about it, so let me show it on camera. And the Rosewater Meringue Wallflowers I got were only in the test phase. I don't think Rosewater Meringue and Wallflower ever went wide. So, PSA, if you like Rosewater Meringue, get this Wallflower because on cold it smells almost nearly identical. And so Rosewater Meringue used to say, fresh rosewater, spun pink sugar, and creamy vanilla bean. And I always said that this kind of could be like a raspberry rose macaron fragrance, and lo and behold, finally, in this year of 2025, they put a macaron note on the actual notes. And so this has always smelled like a rose cotton candy, like sugary fragrance. You get a very beautiful, airy, perfumey rosewater note that's very similar to Rosewater and Ivy's rosewater note. But then there is this jammy, sweet, sugary cotton candy macaron action in there that's just so amazing. It smells like rosewater cotton candy, and it's so good. And so now we have it in Parisian pink roses. Wow, I was not, something about bingo cards is the saying or whatever, was not on my bingo card or whatever. I was not expecting that to be one of the fragrances, but it is. And it's kind of deceptive because you would think it might be blushing pink rose petals because it says pink roses, and the blushing pink rose petals came out in like a Parisian collection, but it's not blushing pink rose petals, which used to be winter rose. This indeed is Rosewater Meringue, at least on cold sniff. I haven't plugged it in, but yes. Okay. There was that, a whole other slew of wallflowers. Check them out if you want to. Okay, let's see, what else? We then had a $10.99 candle, and I was like, girl, I have no business buying this, but I was like, it's just because it's $10.99 and the original price is $49.95, I was like, why don't I get it? And so the store that I go to is usually like so incredibly dead, but it's in like this really ritzy, nice plaza. But no one's ever in there. Today, for the first day ever since like I've moved into this location, there were actually people in the store because it was a SAS. But because it seems like it's a rather large, beautiful, pristine store, but it seems to be low volume or low traffic because there's no one's ever in there, that store is just like fully loaded like all the time. I mean, they have stuff all the way back from like that whole coastal paradise, grapefruit peach, tiki beach collection. They still have Valentine's Day candles. They still have Easter candles. They still have most of the Disney collab in stock. I mean, they have literally everything from the very first floor set from the top of this year. And they just don't move through it. And so I went in there and they actually still had this Easter, the snow globe candle with the juicy snow globe lid, which I have no business having. But I was like, oh, like because it's $10.99 and I can get it for $10.99 when it's originally $49.95, I feel like I should get it. And so I think I'm just gonna gift it to my mother because she kind of decorates more with knickknacks than I do. And I think she also enjoys white gardenia as well. We all know what white gardenia smells like. Classic white gardenia, fresh picked greenery, sweet apple, and white tuberose. Yeah, super heady white floral gardenia fragrance. It's similar to a real life gardenia, but a little bit more green, sharp, and grassy than a true gardenia. But it's in the gardenia family for sure. So yes, we got this for $10.99. So I was like, oh my God, what? So we got the white gardenia right there. Okay. Of course, because that store doesn't have much traffic in it, they had a whole huge table of 75% off candles of like just so much Christmas stuff. Fresh Balsam, Bright Christmas Morning, To All a Good Night, The Perfect Christmas of the Wazoo, Spice Apple Toddy, Caramelized Lavender, I mean, Vanilla Eggnog, the North Pole Punch, the Golden Berry Mistletoe, Fresh Sparkling Snow, Gingerbread Bakery. I mean, like that whole like floor set was like in abundance for 75% off. And I was like, you know, candles, when they're 75% off, they're just that much more attractive. So I did pick up a Mountain Teakwood, but this is not for me. This is for a friend who requested it, who loves this fragrance. So I was like, hey, they have them. So I picked one up for the friend, and that's Mountain Teakwood right there. I always like this packaging of Mountain Teakwood. The color's beautiful. It has this like sort of Art Nouveau flair to it. And I love how these were like the history candles. And so it says Mountain Teakwood was introduced in 2021. We were inspired to combine our favorite fall aromatic fragrances, mahogany teakwood and frozen lake, to create this outdoor masterpiece. And it's just so cool that they give us actually, like they tell us up front, they're not hiding it, that it's a blend of Mountain Teakwood and frozen lake. Crisp mountain air, rich teakwood, and a touch of fresh eucalyptus. I do not like frozen lake, and I don't like mahogany teakwood either, so I have no business having this for myself, but I hope the friend has at it, even though I'm sure they have many backups. So Mountain Teakwood right there, 75% off. And then I was like, you know what? I always love me a good marshmallow fireside, and it was 75% off, so I just got it in here. A masterpiece. Friggin' love this fragrance. Toasted marshmallow, smoldering woods, fire roasted vanilla, and crystallized amber. Oh God, this is so good. I just friggin' love it. Amazing. Marshmallow fireside right there. It's never as good as it used to be back in the day, and I feel like it always duds out and gets super grody and murky, but girl, for 75% off, put in the bag, so we did that. Okay, and then lastly, I think this was on the 75% off table, and it was the Always and Forever body wash. I had this in the travel size, I think because I had a coupon of it, and I blasted through and I actually really enjoyed it. At first, I remember saying that this on cold smelled very dusty and old and antiquated, but when you use it, oh my God, it's just a beautiful, sophisticated rose woodsy fragrance, and I really enjoy it. And I kind of missed that I didn't have any more of it once the travel size was gone, and I'll occasionally use the candle as well. And so I use this and hope that one day maybe I'll have my own wedding day where someone will say that I'm there always and forever for them, but that moment has not come yet. So yes, that's why I bought it, always and forever right there. And I think that's it. I think I got a guava coconut margarita wallflower from that like latest summer batch of wallflowers as well. That's actually quite juicy and really nice. I also have that plugged in. I bought that maybe a few weeks ago when there was some kind of sale. So there's that, check that out. And yeah, just a whole shiz load of wallflower fragrances that are like just only in wallflowers. Craziness. But yeah, and I think that's it for SAS. I really have no intention or desire of going back in. I don't want any 75% off candles because it's going to be all old stuff that we've seen before, and I already have. If I wanted it the first time, I would have bought it. So I really don't need it. I kind of just got it here because I had to get off the 10 off 40. And all the bring back body care is watered down, so even if they make it cheaper, I don't want that. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, Bath & Body Works has just been kind of like, yeah, these days. And I guess after a huge move of like having to trash so much stuff and and donate and get rid of and all that kind of stuff, you just get like sort of sick of having so much stuff. So I'm just kind of like, I don't even really need this, but it's just out of obligation that I'm going to SAS. So I don't know. But if you still like it, and like, I don't want to like discount or put a damper on people who are new in the Bath & Body Works fandom. Like, it's still very fun to go to SAS if you're like still new and fresh and not jaded like I am. Have at it, have fun, like go smell all the stuff. And like, if you weren't there for the original bring back body care, then you might not mind that it smells cheap and watered down and weak this time around, that you might still enjoy and get some use out of it. So, and like maybe if you're still new and haven't experienced Christmas with Bath & Body Works yet, Christmas in July or June might still be fun or novel to you. I don't know. Whatever you want to do, you do you. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.